Hey everyone, this is Chris, and you're listening to One Cross Radio. And today I'm joined by the always awesome and fantastic Bob Morris. Bob, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing real well, thanks.
Awesome, thank you for being here, Bob. I've had the benefit of knowing you for most of my life, and you are very well known, and it's something I'm gonna actually address when we get to a later question. But Jen Bigwood and I ended up playing a game at Urbana. How many people know Bob Morris? just because as soon as we mentioned like we were from Calvary, they tip off and be like, "Oh, Bob." It was just funny. So, Bob, you've got a lot of life experience and great insights and everything. Can you share a bit about your testimony with us today?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's more unusual than a lot of people because I was raised in Nigeria. My parents were missionaries with SIM. So I was raised in Nigeria, exposed to the whole mission culture, and growing up as a teenager, the one thing I knew I didn't want to do was missions. Mm-hmm. There's no way I was going to have anything to do with missionaries or missions until I got to university. And boy, oh boy, if I wanted to follow Jesus, I decided I had to also be involved in missions. They went together for me. One implied the other. And I had a heart for God as a result of my being raised by my parents. Mm-hmm. And so I had to give in at that point.
Awesome. So, and see, I actually, even though, like I said, I've known you for a while, I didn't know you were raised in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So when did you come over to Canada?
At age 11.
Age 11, okay. And did you come straight to Toronto, or was it by the way of...
My parents dropped us off at boarding school in Collingwood.
Okay.
And they went back to Nigeria.
Oh, wow.
So between the ages of 11 and 16, I never saw my parents. And I met them as total strangers when I was 16 years old, and they came back to Canada.
Oh, wow. And then, you guys... Things are good to go, like strong relationship, that didn't affect it at all?
Because of that. And one of my supports for boarding school is, particularly teenagers, let them kick the boarding school staff and treat your parents with respect, you know? By the time my parents came home, man, they were my heroes.
Yep, the rebellious streak, that angstiness was out?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. So you've been involved in a number of ministries over the course of your life. How did those come about?
Well, I'm not much of an initiator, I have to tell you quite frankly, but I belong to a mission called InterServe, and that Inter is really important to us. We have a compulsion to collaborate, and this is one of the reasons I joined InterServe, because I hated duplication. I hate one-off people, doing their own thing. And so for me, I want to cooperate, collaborate. And so in all these cases of mission agencies and other things I've been associated with, they all probably were initiated by somebody else, but I joined them.
Right.
And that was true of Mission Fest. Philip Wood initiated that, asked me to join Canadian Tent Maker Network, the Tim Center. In every case, I was approached by somebody already doing it to join them.
Right. So that's Cool. And then what other ministries have you been involved with?
I've been involved with Lausanne, Canada, which is an international evangelization thing.
Nice.
What else? Finishers, which is an agency trying to recruit seniors to go overseas in global mission.
That's wicked.
They're any number of them. It goes on and on and on. At one point, I was on 22 different boards.
I believe it. I think I remember at a couple Calvary AGMs, like right after I became a member, it was like members, and I'm scrolling through, and it was like Bob Morris. I was like,
I'm a joiner.
Bob's on fire, man. He's all on board. That's great.
I have to tell you one story too. I asked Ian Campbell. I said, I'm a bit of a committee junkie. I love joining boards and committees. Will there be committees in heaven? And without even a pause, he said, Bob, committees are in eternity, but they're not in heaven.
Oh man.
So, I'll enjoy them while I can.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that was a really good story, and I didn't expect. Like Ian. you have been a huge supporter of missions in the church. What about this ministry is so important to you?
I referred to it indirectly, but when I grew up, I had a real heart for God
Mm-hmm.
and not a heart for missions. I just objected everything about missions. And in my third year of university, Toronto, I came to the realization that if I wanted to follow Jesus, that meant I had to be a missionary in the broadest sense, you know?
Yeah.
I had to be concerned that he was concerned, and that was with the lost. And so when I gave my heart and life to the Lord, it meant I had to be involved in missions. And I still believe that to this day.
Yeah.
If you're a follower of Jesus, you've got to be involved in reaching out.
Yeah. That makes me think of when I was working with Youth Unlimited. They were like, "You're a missionary," and I'm like, "But I'm just at like Pape and Danforth. Like I'm in East York. Like I'm not going across the world." And they're like, "No, this is your field, like downtown."
Yeah.
So
yeah, it describes an attitude and an approach as opposed to a geographical location.
Mm-hmm. Although you have been involved in a number of international missions, yeah?
Just basically, well, InterServe. I
right.
grew up in I am, and then as an adult, I've been involved with InterServe.
Oh, okay,
now,
right.
We collaborate with other missions, but I've always had my InterServe identity.
Okay. What are some of the ways you've seen the Lord at work in the missions field?
Man, just so many ways. Well, almost every country I've been in, I've just seen God at work in different ways. Sometimes miraculous, sometimes slow and steady. But just lots of good examples of the way God has confronted people. I mean, you know Daniel Edwards, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a guy come from a Muslim background
Mm-hmm.
and just has been totally transformed by Jesus Christ. And he's not the only one. I've seen other people like that overseas, you know, who just are different people after they've encountered Christ.
Yeah.
But then I was at a teaching. I was just a high school teacher at Woodstock School in North India when a young Canadian group came, and they were a disaster. They were disorganized, but they were a singing group, and they loved the Lord. And the Lord broke through in a terrific way where the Holy Spirit came down in that school. And it was incredible. I was in charge of discipline at the school, and it transformed my job. I mean, the bathroom graffiti, instead of obscenities, was "Jesus loves you," you know? But I just saw probably a third of the student body came to Christ in that period of time.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, that's just clearly God at work, you know, and nobody else. So.
Yeah. Well, heck, and then even as you say, like they came in and organizationally they were a disaster, and yet still all that, all of that.
God. It's not human, you know.
No, exactly.
But another way I've seen God at work is through what we call tent makers.
Okay.
People who go over with a profession, right? That's how they gain access to the country.
Mm-hmm.
So people aren't aware of this, but the church in Bhutan that exists today was started by tent makers. People who went with a profession and then witnessed for Christ.
Right.
True of Afghanistan, true of Turkey, true of Mongolia, true of North Korea, true of Saudi Arabia. All these places where there are Christians today are because people went with their profession and shared their faith.
And those are some places where it would be hard to be like, I'm just going to go as a missionary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We don't even use the word missionary in our mission because we can't.
Right, yeah.
You know? We can't be missionaries where we are.
Yeah.
So we can be Christian workers and Christians.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
We've got some mutual friends who we can't name for safety reasons, who whenever they send out emails, it's like, we can't say we're this, we can't say we're this.
Yeah.
But now, wow, that's, goodness, that's awesome.
It really is, because it's God's doing. That's why it's awesome.
Well, exactly.
No human can take credit for it.
No. And I'll be honest, I've been listening to a lot of Shai Lin this week. Don't know if you know him. He's a great Christian rapper. And then just some of the things you're saying, I wish I could remember the lines exactly, but unfortunately I can't. It's just lining up with that. And his whole thing is like exalting God, where I'm like, boom.
No, that's it. That's it.
Exactly. Are there any resources like pastors, authors, theologians that you learn from that you'd recommend for other people to check out?
Yeah, a lot of them are dated in terms of the current generation, but the ones I grew up with were Philip Yancey, J.I. Packer, N.T. Wright, Dallas Willard. Probably the most current for me is David Platt. Who is a current...
D. Platt.
Yeah. D. Platt. And who's the other guy? The Chinese origin guy. Francis Chen, is it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Fran Chan.
Yeah. Fran Chan, yeah. So he's been really influential, too, in my life.
Oh, yeah. And I love that. One of the reasons I love asking this question is because for everyone it's different. And then even though you're saying some of these are dated to contemporary people, at the same point, like, we need to learn from previous generations. Like,
and they're still valid.
Oh, exactly. Like, Spurgeon, I love going back to his work. And there's so many great people today, but that doesn't mean we're just limited to today. So thank you for...
Another one, A.W. Tozer.
I
quote him constantly.
I remember Hal Willis gave me a book of his, and he's like, you need to start reading this. And then my problem is I can't commit to reading, so I started reading it, and then the first couple chapters I'm like, oh, awesome! And then I got distracted by work. But
yeah, but he's worthwhile, and you can find him.
Oh yeah, he's on my bookshelf behind me, so he's on my, like, it's one of those where I'm like, I gotta actually finish reading this. So this one's going to be a fun conversation. What can you tell us about the Urbana Conference?
Boy, oh boy, I think that probably, for North America at least, is the most significant gateway to mission. I think more people, like 16,000 to 20,000 students attend Urbana every conference. And in my own mission, probably over half of the people that go from Canada overseas with InterServe got their call at Urbana. I did myself. I attended Urbana 64, and I still remember the speakers. And I just said I've got to be involved in the mission. So, and I've attended 8 Urbanas, and they're all stimulating. They're all really encouraging.
Yeah.
And I just think God is using Urbana in a marvelous way to call people into mission, both here and overseas.
Oh yeah, and it started in Toronto, yeah? Or some of the early ones were in?
The first one was in Toronto, 1946.
Wow.
Then it moved to Urbana, and now it's in St. Louis. But they call it Urbana, St. Louis. Yeah. Have you been?
I was there for Urbana 12. Myself and Jen Bigwood went. We almost didn't make it. And then I remember you emailing me being like, you gotta go. And then we ended up, our bus ride was insane. Absolutely insane. It was supposed to be 16 hours. There was a snowstorm. We were stuck at the border for 8.5 hours between 2:15 and 8:45 in the morning. There was only like 2 agents on. So, I'm not the biggest planner, but I was like, why did nobody call them? Just to say, like, there's a caravan of buses coming. Maybe try to get staff up. And we ended up in a ditch outside, like, an hour outside of Chicago, so still, like, 3 hours away.
I remember it, because I was at Urbana.
Yeah. We went for coffee, I think, on the Friday or something, or one of the days, because you had texted me and Jen because we were in the hotel, and you're like, are you guys here? We're down in the Starbucks, and Jen and I were like, let's go, and we ran down to meet up with you, and it was
that's good.
I love Urbana, man. Like, I've recommend every time it's coming up, and there's another one coming up this year. I'm just like telling any church I can, like, if you can get people there, go. It's worth it.
Absolutely, I agree.
And even the international worship, where it was like they're busting out xylophones and accordions, and it works. I'm just like, not that we have to do that every Sunday morning, but I'm like, wait, why are we limiting ourselves so much in worship? And
no, it's a good experience all around.
What are some of the ways you see the Lord at work in Canada?
That's a tougher one. You know that?
Yeah.
It's not easy to look overseas. It's popping overseas. And the places popping here are the newcomers coming to Canada. They're the ones who are really on the ball. both
Mm-hmm.
in terms of worship, in terms of outreach, and everything else. And they're saving the Canadian church from itself.
Pastor Daniel Winters from Calvary, when I interviewed him, he said something very similar. So that's crazy interesting.
For example, I met with a young guy, I meet with a young Korean guy,
Mm-hmm.
with him yesterday morning. And he and some Korean friends have started what they call Rev 7. In other words, it's a church plant
Mm-hmm.
based on Revelation 7, where every ethnicity and tribe and nation are represented. And their whole object is to start a multicultural church.
That's awesome.
Something like 30 people show up, and they just had 2 services, So there's an example
Mm-hmm.
of how God is working. Wonderful.
That's great.
Just another example of
Yeah.
how God is doing crazy things.
All the examples, man. All of them.
One of the guys that attended this church for the first time is an Iranian who addressed my friend in fluent Korean. And the guy says, how does an Iranian learn Korean? Well, he was displaced and spent 3 years or something in Korea,
Mm-hmm.
learned fluent Korean. Another guy is an Ethiopian who speaks Greek. And this is the crazy mixed up world God has given to us.
Yeah.
Define your ethnicity, man. It's going to be a mix of 10 different ones.
Oh, yeah. And oh, man, that's great where they're actually understanding different languages. I can't remember the passage specifically, but where it was God's just like, okay, y'all aren't going to understand each other, and then they were suddenly speaking
right.
very different tongues and languages.
Genesis 11.
There we go. Thank you.
Yep.
It was like, Bob will get it. He knows the one. Yeah, and now it's the reverse of that now, where it's like the different ethnicities, but using the different languages, and they all understand, except me, because I still barely speak English.
Me too. They say the most widely spoken language in the world is accented English. In other words, everybody speaks it as a second language, so you got an advantage that way.
Oh, yeah. And then, oh, man, whenever I think of people being like, seeing people give other people a hard time for, like, being rough with English, I'm like, man, English is rough for people who speak English.
Oh, yeah.
Except the British. They invented the language, and it's, to them, they're just like, you're not caught up yet. What's going on?
I'm so thankful English was my first language, because I'd never attained it as a second one.
Oh my gosh, no. Yeah. Hundo P, Bob. Hundo P. So, what are some of the stuff you're involved with these days?
I'm on a variety of boards, sort of informally. Still Mission Fest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just acting as a consultant there. I'm just acting as a consultant to Lausanne.
Mm-hmm.
They're reforming a new board. I am on the board of Imago, which is an arts. It's a ministry that encourages emerging Christian artists, singers,
excellent,
visual artists, everything. Yeah, so I'm on that board, and we have good fun with that one. I'm on the Tyndale Alumni Council.
Oh, snap.
I sit on that. yeah. And then I'm on the my church's missions committee. Those are the ones that I regularly am part of.
That's great. What just because it's been a while since we've connected, what church are you going to these days?
We're going to Bridlewood Presbyterian Church.
Bridlewood, okay.
Which is, let me tell you this, I just discovered this, it's our 50th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only church in North America that legally has to define themselves as evangelical.
What?
You know the name Robert McClintock?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
With all these churches in Scarborough, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's the Brethren in Christ, there's AGC, there are Baptist churches, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And he decided he wanted a mainline denomination in Scarborough. He went to the Presbyterian Church of Canada. He said, I will donate 4 acres of land. I will donate the church, but you have to guarantee to me that it's an evangelical Presbyterian church. And they actually wrote it into their bylaws of the Presbyterian Church of Canada. So legally, Bridlewood has to be evangelical.
Oh my goodness. So then even if another place possibly takes it over, it might be not that it would, but
Yes.
it's just still
evangelical, or they lose it.
wow.
Yeah.
That's
Great story, eh?
that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's going to keep them on track with being evangelical.
And it has been ever since it was founded 50 years ago. All evangelical ministers, a strong evangelical congregation, committed to global mission and everything. So it's really good.
I don't mind that approach. I don't think that's bad at all, actually.
Give McClintock credit, eh?
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's not to be like, let's keep our hands in pockets, but at the same, by that I mean you get what I mean. But it's just like it adds to that responsibility to be like, all right, no, we got to be on mission, because if we don't, we're also going to lose the building.
Good incentive.
Exactly. Oh, sorry, I'm a little under the weather. We have flown through the questions, sir.
That's okay.
Yeah. And then finally, what would you say to someone thinking about pursuing the missions field, either as a vocation or just even as a temporary thing? Yeah.
Do you know, I'm talking to Canadians, and I'm assuming that's the back context of the question, hey?
Yes, yeah, for the most part. Although if you've got another tip, I'd love it.
Yeah. Eschew safety. In other words, take risks.
Mm-hmm.
Canadians are obsessed with safety. You know, this is our number one priority if you're on an airline.
Mm-hmm.
Your safety. Go to school, our number one priority is your child's safety.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's just so much nonsense. Safety is no part of the Great Commission. No way. And mission is a dangerous occupation nowadays. You take your life in your hands, which is a prerequisite of being a disciple of Jesus Christ anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, take up your cross and follow me. But Canadians are just, they're going to consider things as long as they're safe. And I say, no, don't do that. If you sense God's call on you, do not judge where you go or what you do by whether it's safe or not. We were commissioning one young lady at Calvary Church, commissioning her to Kabul, Afghanistan. And after the service, which was a great service of commissioning, her mother came up to me and said, Bob, is Kabul safe? What do you say?
Yeah.
Definitely not. But what I said was, is Scarborough safe?
Yeah.
Not if God's not in it.
Yeah, no.
You know, it's not a safe place to be. So this safety issue, I think, is a really important one. But I think more essentially for anyone volunteering for a mission is humility. God blesses the humble, you know, and resists the proud. And I think any type of service, but particularly in global mission, you don't go in as a world changer. You don't go in and say you're going to solve your problems. You're coming in as a student, a learner, a servant, someone who wants to know how they can serve people. So that's it. A second one. Live simply is another one. And it's hard to define what living simply is. But my criterion is just live more simply than you are now. Put it that way. Just work at it.
Yeah, yeah.
The other thing that I don't like is the juxtaposition of competence and commitment.
Okay.
You know, some people say, well, we have to, he's really competent. He's not a great Christian, but we have to appoint him. You know, and I think what we're striving for is both competence and commitment to Christ. I mean, this is the only reason you're involved in mission is because Christ has called you and you're following him. He's already there, you know, and you've got to just keep that in mind. So, but you want to be your best. You don't want to be second best. You don't want to be, you know, oh shucks, let's give it a go kind of thing.
Yeah.
You want to plan to be the best. And then the old shibboleth, read your Bible and pray every day. You know, you drop that, boy, you are vulnerable.
Very true. Very true.
Devil's prowling around. He's looking for people to devour, and man, oh man, you don't want to be that person.
Very true. And
anyway.
Some of that stuff you said, it brought to mind something I think Daniel and I have talked about, and my next door neighbor, who's one of the pastors from my church, have talked about, where it's normally something where I have issue with people from a prosperity church, where it's like pray and you'll have rims on your rims and all that.
Name it, claim it, yeah.
And then I'm like, when you look at scripture, it's like Jesus was homeless. He wasn't comfortable. He was couch surfing. He had his butt kicked. Like, and then some of those guys. So then, as you were talking about safety, I'm just like, man, it wasn't safe. Paul wasn't safe. Heck, the other guys weren't safe from Paul for a while.
You're right. No, you're right.
So it's just that's a great reminder. No, thank you for sharing that. Just because that's a great one. And
I would add comfort to that. They're part of the same thing. But safety and comfort just seem to be the standard for Canadian ambition. It's just
Well,
it's irrelevant.
yeah, no, it's something that I think is very much a North American thing. And heck, I'll be honest, it's easy to be like, well, I'm not going to be comfortable with that, so I'll just do that. I know I've thought that, but then other times it's like, nah, man, you got to do it. Yeah.
At one point, the when you said goodbye to somebody, you always said take care,
Mm-hmm.
and I just started saying take risks. Trying to make the point.
That's a great way to do it. Although I'm thinking now where it would be like if you said that to younger Chris from Calvary, especially with Hal, it would have been like, take risks. All right, let's go do something stupid. Bob gave us the okay.
That's why you're still pumping it out, man. Don't knock when you're like 10 years ago.
Oh no, it's
if you aren't like that at 20,
mm-hmm.
for sure you won't be at 40. You won't make it till 40.
No, exactly. Oh man, oh sir, it's just some stuff. Oh goodness. All right, well, Bob, thank you so much. Pardon?
It's been good fun.
Oh yeah, and it was great catching up with you. And I'd love to actually do it in person sometime. Whenever Tom's like, "Hey, I'm going in to meet Bob Morris," I'm like, "Awesome! What time?" 7 a.m. For me, well, he drives, and then it's also like for me to get to his station, I'd be like, I gotta get up at like 4:50, man. But sometime we'll figure out a time, and yeah.
Give my greetings to Jillian too.
Oh, absolutely, and give my greetings to Carol.
We'll do it.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Well, Bob, thank you so much. And you, listener, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed and learned as much as I have from Bob, although I've had the chance to over the course of many years. And thank you for listening, and God bless, my friends. Take care.